How's it going, everyone? Shifty here, and I'm back with another Destiny 2 video. Today I'm finishing off my reviews of the exotic scout rifles for my PvP exotic review series. The only one I have left is the beautiful Skyburnner's Oath. When is the last time you saw anyone use this unironically? Some of you may not even know what this weapon is since no one uses it. Don't worry though, I took one for the team and used this extensively in PvP. If you want to check out my previous PvP exotic reviews, I'll leave a link in the description down below. And before I get into this review, if you end up enjoying the video or finding it useful, make sure to like and subscribe. And keep in contact with me by following my Twitter page, the link will be in the description as well. Alright, the Skyburnner's Oath is an interesting weapon that offers two different firing modes depending on if you're hip firing or aiming down the sights. It also seems to me that this weapon is a bit buggy in PvP, but we'll get into that a bit later. I believe you can even see this bug happen in my highlights later in the video. But first, let's go over the perks on the Skyburnner's Oath. The first perk is Extended Barrel, which boosts recoil direction and range at the cost of handling. Next is Extended Mag for a larger magazine, but a slower reload speed. Then the first exotic perk for the Empire, which states that this weapon fires in full auto, does extra damage to Cabal, and penetrates failing shields. The only relevant piece of that for PvP is that it fires in full auto. Next is the short action stock for a handling increase. Then lastly, the main exotic perk is Slug Rifle. This weapon lobs large explosive seeking slugs when hip firing. When you aim down sights, the slugs travel fast and straight and do more damage but at a lower rate of fire. Based on the perks alone, it seems that this weapon would be interesting in the Crucible. I know if I were new to the game and got this weapon and read these perks, I would be intrigued. I think the idea is that the hipfire slugs are meant to be spammed at your opponent and the ADS slugs are meant to be a bit more precise and take down enemies at range. Anyway, that's how I tried to use it in PvP. I also want to bring up the bug I mentioned earlier. It seems that sometimes when I would ADS fire at an opponent, I wouldn't see damage numbers, although I'd be right on target, and occasionally they would just die and I wouldn't see the appropriate damage numbers at all. It also seems like I would kill an enemy in 2 shots sometimes and still see no damage numbers. I know there's a clip from Distant Shore where I get a headshot kill on an enemy at B and I don't even see a crit damage number pop up. Watch the highlights later and let me know if you see the bug occur anywhere. I know there is something a little weird going on with this weapon, but enough with that, let's get into some numbers. Alright, we are going to have two different damage profiles. The first is the hipfire damage profile, and that is 52 per crit and 47 to the body, giving the hipfire mode an optimal time to kill of 0.9 seconds with 1 crit and 3 body shots, and an all body shot time to kill of 1.2 seconds with 5 body shots. Then for the ADS mode, we have a damage profile of 66 per crit and 41 to the body, giving the ADS mode an optimal time to kill of 0.8 seconds with 3 crits, and an all body shot time to kill of 1.6 seconds with 5 body shots. Looking at these numbers, the weapon doesn't seem to be too bad. The hipfire mode has a time to kill between 0.9 and 1.2 seconds, but the downside is the shots have a decent travel time and hitting the shots is somewhat inconsistent, so to hit all of your shots and achieve those kill times might prove challenging. You can even 3-tap with all headshots while ADS, but once you start hitting body shots, it's not so great. The rest of the stats on this weapon are pretty middle of the road. The handling's low at 37, the range is the second lowest of the exotic scouts at 46, only beating out Symmetry. It has decent aim assist at 80, and the stability is tied with Polaris Lance at 55, which is the highest for exotic scout rifles. The mag size is also the second highest at 18. Let's talk about what I liked about this weapon. While this is probably the worst exotic scout rifle, I had a lot more fun using this than I did with the Mida multi-tool. It is decent at long range, and the explosive rounds throw off snipers better than the high caliber rounds of the Mida multi-tool. That makes this decent at counter sniping. Spamming the hipfire mode on smaller maps like Retribution was quite a bit of fun. However, the seeking on the hipfire shots isn't great, so if you spam corners or other forms of cover, your shot still has to be generally close to your opponent. The slugs also experience drops, so you have to shoot it like a grenade launcher when hipfiring. I know I got a few kills around and over cover just lobbing the hipfire shots. The explosive rounds really throw opponents off, and I think people should consider using explosive rounds on more weapons in general. I think that also contributed to this weapon being more fun to use than the Mida. Things I didn't like about this weapon. The hipfire slugs are so inconsistent. Sometimes they would all hit the opponent and then other times would just keep landing by their feet. It felt really good when they hit and really awful when they kept missing. The ADS mode feels very sluggish, no pun intended. It feels like the weapon weighs a ton in your character's hands and the recoil is a little weird to get used to. Overall, I would say that this weapon can be quite fun to use. On paper, it actually has quite a bit going for it, with the tight time to kill ranges and the weapon can be forgiving. Also, it feels really good to melt people with the hipfire mode, even though that doesn't occur very often. The ADS mode is fine, although don't expect to get many precision kills. You'll get more explosive damage kills than anything, so avoid using something like the Spectral Blade subclass if you're used to getting true sight. I would actually recommend this weapon for casual playlists, especially if you're looking for something different and quirky, because I can attest it is pretty fun to use. Don't take it seriously, and by all means do not take it into competitive. In the current sandbags, you're just asking to get annihilated. Alright, that's it for my PvP review of the Skyburners Oath. Stick around to check out some of the fun highlights I had in my review session using this. And remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I just want to thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Zone advantage. Double down. Double down. You're in the lead. You have zone advantage. Your advantage grows. Stay. Numbers, Guardian. Excellent. Your advantage grows. Zone A captured. Zone advantage is yours. Not.